Breaking news from Newcastle. Shocking updates are flooding in this very minute, and every Magpie supporter needs to hear this. A major youth signing is on the verge of being announced. A key player's injury update has just changed everything for Eddie Howe, and one of the club's newest stars could finally make his long-awaited debut. Something big is stirring at St. James' Park tonight. These are the kind of stories that show just how ambitious this Newcastle project has become under Howe's watch. From the academy to the first team, the club is moving fast, and the next few weeks could define the rest of the season. So don't miss a thing. Hit that subscribe button now, because what's coming next will surprise every Newcastle fan watching. Josh Kenchington has become one of the most talked about young defenders in England this week after it was revealed that Newcastle United have secured his signature. The 15-year-old centre-back has been starring for Barnsley's youth setup, where his physical presence and calmness on the ball earned him the title of Academy Player of the Year for the 2024-25 season. His move to Tyneside marks another clever piece of business by the Magpies, who continue to strengthen their academy with some of the best teenage talent across the country. This deal didn't come easily. Reports suggest that several of the Premier League's so-called Big Six clubs were in the race for Kenchington, with Arsenal and Manchester City both keeping a close eye on his progress. However, Newcastle's long-term vision for young players and the club's growing reputation for developing prospects convinced the youngster and his family that St. James' Park was the right place for him to grow. It's a signing that sends another strong message to rivals about Newcastle's ambitions for the future. The move also continues a pattern that fans have started to notice under the current ownership. Alongside big-money signings for the first team, the Magpies have quietly assembled an impressive group of young players behind the scenes. Names like Michael Mills from Port Vale and Casey Worcester from Southend have already made their mark in youth fixtures, while Sam Alobi from Oldham is gaining attention for his development at Little Benton. Adding Kenchington to that list gives Newcastle one of the most exciting collections of teenage talent in English football. What stands out most about Kenchington is his maturity on the pitch. Despite his young age, he reads the game with composure well beyond his years. Scouts describe him as physically dominant, confident in the air, and comfortable playing out from the back. Exactly the kind of profile Eddie Howe's staff value highly. He's been compared to a young John Stones, with his ability to step into midfield and start attacks from deep positions. Newcastle's coaches believe he has the tools to eventually make the leap to the senior setup. For Kenchington himself, this transfer represents a huge opportunity and a major challenge. Leaving Barnsley, where he was seen as a future first-team player, wasn't an easy decision, but the chance to train in an elite environment and learn under a top-tier development system proved too tempting to turn down. He's expected to join the under-16 squad initially, but sources suggest the plan is to fast-track him through the ranks if he adapts quickly. It's clear the club sees him as one for the long term, a defender who could one day wear the captain's armband. Behind the scenes, Newcastle's recruitment department deserves credit for this capture. Since the club's takeover, the scouting network has expanded significantly, targeting talented teenagers across England and Europe. Their focus isn't just on immediate first-team improvements, but on building a sustainable pipeline of players ready to step up in the next 5 to 10 years. The success stories of players like Elliot Anderson and Lewis Miley have shown that the pathway from academy to first team is real, and Kenchington will now have the same opportunity to follow in their footsteps. The signing also highlights how Eddie Howe's footballing philosophy is influencing all levels of the club. His emphasis on technical ability, tactical intelligence, and mental resilience is being mirrored in the youth academy. Kenchington's calm distribution and ability to read pressure align perfectly with the kind of defender Howe wants in his system. Even though the manager might not work directly with the under-15s, his standards and style are shaping the way Newcastle's next generation are being molded. Another interesting detail is how Newcastle managed to beat top rivals to his signature. Insiders say that Kenchington and his family were impressed by a personal presentation from academy staff, which showed a clear progression plan for his development over the coming years. The idea of joining a club where young players are genuinely valued, rather than being loaned out endlessly, played a huge role in his choice. It's proof that Newcastle's long-term strategy is working, not just in the transfer market, but in creating an identity that attracts young stars. Supporters have reacted positively to the news, flooding social media with excitement and pride over the club's growing youth strategy. Many fans have pointed out that this kind of recruitment echoes what clubs like Manchester City and Arsenal did before dominating English football in recent years. By securing top-level prospects early, Newcastle are positioning themselves for long-term success. There's a real sense among the fanbase that the Magpies aren't just building for now, but for generations to come. For now, Kensington will focus on settling into life at Little Benton, getting to know his teammates and adapting to the demands of a Premier League academy setup. He'll continue his education, train under top youth coaches, and take his first steps toward what could become a remarkable career in black and white. Time will tell how far he goes, but if early signs are anything to judge by, Newcastle might just have landed another future England international. Fans will be keeping a close eye on his journey from here. Lewis Hall's injury has caused real concern among Newcastle supporters, but a detailed update has finally clarified the situation. The 20-year-old fullback has been out since feeling discomfort in his hamstring during the Europa League clash with Union SG 2 weeks ago. He missed the 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest, and speculation quickly spread about how serious the problem might be. After undergoing a second scan earlier this week, there's now a clearer picture of his recovery timetable. And while it's not ideal, the results could have been far worse for the club. Reliable journalist Craig Hope from The Mail reported that Hall's injury will likely keep him sidelined for around 4 more weeks. That rules him out of several important fixtures in the Premier League and Carabao Cup. However, there's growing optimism at the training ground that he might recover in time for the Brentford trip on the 9th of November, just before the international break. The first diagnosis had hinted at a possible return only in early December, so this revised estimate feels like a positive turn for both Eddie Howe and his coaching staff. The news has brought a sigh of relief around St. James Park. Early fears suggested Hall might have suffered a partial tear that could have kept him out until the new year. Instead, scans have shown it to be a mild strain, which, with careful rehabilitation, should heal fully in a few weeks. The medical department have already created a personalized recovery program focusing on mobility, strengthening, and gradual reintroduction to high-intensity work. Their aim is to ensure Hall returns stronger and doesn't rush back too soon, which has cost Newcastle players dearly in the past. For a young player still learning the rhythm of Premier League football, this break is frustrating. Hall had been growing into his role nicely, showing maturity in possession and a great understanding of Howe's tactical instructions. His overlapping runs down the left and precise deliveries into the box had quickly become an important part of Newcastle's attacking play. Each performance was showing more confidence, and fans were beginning to see why the club invested in him. The setback halts that momentum, but it doesn't change how highly the staff rate him. Eddie Howe spoke openly about the situation after the Nottingham Forest game. He felt something during the Union match. "It was a real blow for us," he said. "We've done imaging tests, and before we get conclusive evidence, he'll need another scan in about 10 days. It's not short-term, but we hope it's not long-term either." Those words have now been confirmed accurate. Howe's cautious approach has always been his trademark, especially with younger players, and he'll make sure Hall isn't rushed back into full training until he's completely ready. The timing, however, is challenging. Newcastle are entering one of the busiest stages of the season, competing across 3 fronts: the Premier League, domestic cups, and Europe. With Tino Livramento also out for up to 6 weeks due to a knee injury, the club finds itself short on fullback options. Dan Burn is expected to cover at left-back, though his natural position is central defence. Kieran Trippier might again be asked to fill in on the opposite side, as he has for England, while Emil Kraft and Malik Thiaw provide backup on the right. Squad depth will be tested to its limit. Inside the dressing room, Hall's absence has been felt both on and off the pitch. Teammates describe him as cheerful, humble, and determined to learn, which makes him a popular figure around the camp. Even while injured, he's been attending tactical meetings and gym sessions daily to stay involved with the group. Howe's philosophy encourages all players to remain mentally sharp, even when sidelined. The coaching staff believe that this experience could strengthen Hall's character and help him mature faster, especially in handling the mental side of professional football. Fans on Tyneside have shown great empathy for Hall, flooding social media with supportive messages and encouragement. Many have noted how composed he looked in his early appearances this season, particularly in matches where his defensive positioning and ball control stood out. Supporters appreciate his energy, work rate, and modern style as a fullback who can contribute at both ends of the pitch. They also recognize the bigger picture, that protecting Hall now could pay off massively in the long run, as the youngster still has enormous potential to fulfill under Howe's guidance. This isn't the first time Newcastle have dealt with an injury crisis in wide defensive positions, but the club's improved sports science setup gives confidence that recoveries are handled better than before. The medical team now use GPS monitoring, customized recovery plans, and regular strength testing to prevent recurrences. For Hall, every step of his rehabilitation will be tracked closely, with gradual increases in training intensity and controlled ball work sessions. If he follows the program properly, the staff are confident he'll return sharper than when he left. Looking forward, the next month will be crucial. Newcastle hope Hall can feature in light training by early November and possibly make the matchday squad for the Brentford game if all goes well. Even if that comes too soon, a post-international break return seems realistic. For Eddie Howe, having Hall back will feel like a fresh signing, a boost at just the right time. Supporters will be eager to see him flying down the left flank again, linking up with Anthony Gordon and helping the team push higher up the table as winter football begins to bite. Yoane Wissa's long-awaited debut for Newcastle United could finally be on the horizon, and fans are buzzing with anticipation. The Congolese international joined the Magpies from Brentford in September for a reported £55 million, but a knee injury picked up on international duty delayed his first appearance in black and white. After weeks of rehabilitation, there's growing confidence that Wissa could feature in early November. According to the Daily Mail, the forward has now returned to light training and is back running on grass, which is a major step forward in his recovery. The plan had originally been for Wissa to make his debut in October, but a minor setback forced the club to take a more cautious approach. Newcastle's medical team are said to be pleased with his progress, ensuring that he's not rushed back too quickly. Eddie Howe has closely monitored his rehabilitation, aware that the player's explosive pace and direct style rely heavily on full fitness. Now, with signs of strength and sharpness returning, the expectation is that Wissa will soon be available for selection, potentially for the Brentford clash on the 2nd of November. That fixture carries a special significance for Wissa, who became Brentford's top Premier League goalscorer before making the switch to Tyneside. His move was seen as one of Newcastle's most ambitious transfers of the summer, a proven Premier League forward with both versatility and a keen eye for goal. Facing his former club in his debut match would create an emotional and symbolic moment, marking the start of a new chapter in his career. Many believe it's the perfect stage for him to make an instant impact. When fit, Wissa offers something unique to Newcastle's attack. His ability to play across the front line, either as a striker, winger, or inside forward, gives Howe tactical flexibility. Known for his powerful running and sharp movement inside the box, Wissa can stretch defenses and create space for teammates like Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak. The coaching staff view him as a player who fits perfectly into Howe's high-pressing, fast transition system. Once fully integrated, he could become one of the key figures in Newcastle's front line. The transfer itself wasn't straightforward. Negotiations between Newcastle and Brentford dragged on for weeks as the two clubs tried to agree on a fee structure and add-ons. Eventually, a deal worth around £55 million was finalised, reflecting just how highly Howe and sporting director Dan Ashworth rate the player. Unfortunately, his knee issue occurred just days after the move was completed, during a training session while representing DR Congo. It was a cruel twist of fate that summed up Newcastle's unlucky start to the season on the injury front. Behind the scenes, however, the club have been patient and methodical. Wissa has been following an intensive recovery plan designed to strengthen the muscles around his knee and rebuild match fitness. Physiotherapists have praised his attitude, describing him as professional, disciplined, and eager to return stronger. Even while sidelined, he's been attending tactical briefings and video sessions to familiarize himself with Howe's playing philosophy. That commitment has impressed the coaching team, who believe he'll adapt quickly once he steps back onto the pitch. Wissa's return could also influence Newcastle's tactical shape moving forward. The original plan was for him to alternate with Nick Woltemade as the team's central striker, providing competition and rotation options. But given Woltermade's excellent form and the shortage of natural wide players, Howe may choose to deploy Wissa as a right-sided attacker instead. This role would allow him to cut inside onto his stronger right foot and unleash his trademark low drives toward goal, a move that caused defenses endless problems during his Brentford days. Supporters are understandably excited about what's to come. Many have taken to social media to express their belief that Wissa's energy and unpredictability could add a new dimension to the team. Newcastle have at times lacked that spark in the final third this season, and the addition of a player with Wissa's pace and flair could be transformative. Fans have also highlighted how his relentless work rate mirrors Howe's footballing ideals, pressing hard, running tirelessly, and fighting for every ball until the final whistle. The timing of his potential return couldn't be better. As Newcastle prepare for a demanding winter schedule, reinforcements up front will be crucial. With European and domestic commitments piling up, Howe will need depth and rotation to maintain intensity. Having Wissa available again will ease the burden on Isaac and Gordon, while offering a new attacking weapon capable of changing games. His experience in the Premier League means he can settle quickly and contribute immediately once cleared to play. For Wissa himself, the chance to finally make his debut feels like redemption. He left Brentford with the aim of taking the next big step in his career, joining a club with Champions League ambitions and passionate supporters. Injuries may have delayed his start, but they haven't dampened his determination. If he can pick up where he left off last season, Newcastle might soon see why Howe was so desperate to bring him in. All signs now point to his long-awaited debut arriving within weeks, and it could be worth the wait. What a mix of emotions for Newcastle fans this week. A brilliant young talent like Josh Kensington joins the academy, showing how bright the club's future looks. The injury update on Lewis Hall brings hope rather than despair, with the youngster expected back sooner than expected. And then there's Yoane Wissa, ready to finally make his first appearance in black and white, a moment supporters have been waiting for since September. The pieces are falling into place perfectly. So, what do you think, Newcastle fans? Are you excited to see Kensington's rise through the academy? Do you believe Hall's return will strengthen our defense at the right moment? And are you ready to welcome Wissa onto the pitch for his long-awaited debut? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your voice keeps the Magpies spirit alive every single day. It's clear that Eddie Howe and his staff are building something truly special on Tyneside. From youth investment to first-team resilience, the future looks brighter than ever for Newcastle United. Keep believing, keep supporting, and remember, this journey is only just beginning. Wait, before you go, check out this breaking video from Newcastle.